Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing a manga today. Something a bit different. Today's manga is called Gyo by Junji Ito. I'm a massive Junji Ito fan. I've probably read about 6 or 7 of his books, including this one. So I knew what to expect. I mean, he's the master of horror. His writing style and his artwork is phenomenal, and his imagination is like so crazy. So before I get into it, let me just show you some of the artwork that you can expect from this. I mean, it's the standards artwork that you come to expect from Junji Ito. He has such good imagination. He's such a great artist. Yeah, a shark there. And yeah, it's so good. This one, it really is good. It's shorter than other Junji Ito books. I mean, much shorter, but it will take you enough time to get through it. I mean, for me personally, I think it took me about 2 or 3 days to get through this. But if you want to like take your time with it and enjoy it, then I would definitely do that. Don't rush through this, and just take it in, absorb it all in, and just make your eye wander through all the different panels and just try to spot all the different stuff in the background, and just to appreciate all this artwork. So before I get into this video, I got some usual stuff I want to say. This is going to be a spoiler-free video. When I was thinking about doing a video for this, I was thinking about, okay, what will I say? Because it's very easy just to spoil this and say too much, especially if you haven't read this before and you want to get into it and you want to read it. It's very difficult to try to not talk about certain aspects. But I might mention minor spoilers, but nothing that will overly impact the story or completely ruin it for you guys. And also, this is going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding this book as well. And because this is a Japanese manga, even though it's written in English, if I mispronounce certain names, then apologies for that. So this book focuses around a couple called Tadashi, and I can't remember, and I don't know how to pronounce the girl's name. I watched 3 videos and everyone pronounces her name slightly differently. So I will have it up on the screen so you can read it. But I'm going to say her name is said like Carrie. That's how I'm going to say it. So apologies if that's the wrong pronunciation. I know it probably is, but yeah, that's as close as I'm ever going to get it. So Tadashi is a very good person. He does have some relationship issues, especially with his girlfriend, who is overly sensitive. It's more to do with her sense of smell. She has a very heightened sense of smell, and one day when Tadashi comes back from a diving expedition, he notices something weird that's shooting towards him from the ocean, and he has no idea what it is. So when he goes back to his home, which he lives with his girlfriend, as I said, has a very heightened sense of smell. And she says to Tadashi that he smells, and she wants him to be more clean, and she also has a heightened sense of smell in the house. It really disgusts her, and this kind of like puts Tadashi on edge. He wants to try to please his girlfriend and to make her happy and to do everything that he can for her. I mean, that's his whole focus, is pleasing his girlfriend and giving her what she needs. But she doesn't really make it easier for him. She's very needy. She's very whiny at times. I think that she's also very jealous of other girls and other women that even have a slight interest towards Tadashi, and that kind of puts her on edge that she might lose him. So one day in the house, they discover this mysterious fish with these weird legs. It's the picture of it there. that seems to be the source of this bad smell. Catches it and kills it. They think, okay, that's it now. So just a weird creature we've just killed, but it's all over. But the fish and other creatures in the ocean start coming onto the lands that have all these like weird legs underneath their bodies. So it's all types of creatures that you find in the ocean, like fish, octopuses. Yes, I did show you a shark. And there are a few other creatures as well, but I won't spoil it for you. So when they come, they create this really, really bad smell because they're not supposed to be on land under the hot sun, and this creates a really bad smell, and people are really surprised by it and shocked by it, even though I'm pretty sure the fish don't attack anyone. I mean, I suppose they do if they're provoked, but for the most part they're just trying to, you know, exist, you know, just walking around, just minding their own business, and they don't really seem to be attacking anyone apart from the sharks, which is in their nature to be kind of predatory and violent. So no one really knows why this is happening and why these fish are doing what they're doing. But as the story progresses, the fish start to rot the longer they're on the surface. They start to rot, and they soon decompose, and the legs, the creature that's on the fish, is kind of like a parasite, and it attaches itself to any living creature, whether it's an animal or a human being. And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it with that, really. It's interesting about how when this happens, society breaks down and everyone becomes like their basic animal instincts kind of kick in, and no one seems to know what's going on. I mean, you have all these news, and, you know, all these reporters on the news, and all these lab scientists doing all these experiments on these creatures and trying to find out why this is happening and what's going on. And like any other graphic novels or mangas by Junji Ito, like Uzumaki did this, it is like a snowball effect. It starts off with something small, and then as the story goes on, it builds up and builds up and builds up into something massive and bigger. And what we're left with is kind of a environment that's post-apocalyptic and something out of a Mad Max movie. The characters in this, Tadashi and Carrie, are very realistic. Their relationship is really realistic, and I think this is the first story that, well, comes to my mind anyway, that Junji Ito has written, where Tadashi is written as a hero character. His main focus from beginning to end is his girlfriend. That's all he wants to do. Yes, he does help some people out during the story when he comes into contact with them, but his main goal is to care and look after his girlfriend, even though there are times when all hope seems lost and she's in this very, very dire and grotesque and horrible situation, and something horrible has happened to her. His main focus is to protect his girlfriend. He doesn't care what happens to him. All he cares about is fulfilling his role as a good boyfriend. So even though a big part of this book is the smell, well, I mean, not just the fish, but all these creatures that this parasite is attaching themselves to, it doesn't really go into detail about what exactly it smells like. We just got to use our own imagination about, okay, what does a fish smell like if it's been baking in the hot sun for days and days on ends? And it's kind of like, it describes it as a rotten fish, which is fair enough, that's the situation. But when humans get involved with this, then yeah, I mean, someone says that like they recognize or they don't like the smell of decomposing bodies. And I'm like, how do you know what a dead body smells like? And if you haven't read anything by Junji Ito before, then I would highly recommend this. I only say this, guys, if you're one of these types of readers that likes everything, most things or some things fully explained, then you might be disappointed in Junji Ito and Gyo. Yes, it does explain stuff, but what Junji Ito does as a writer is that he gives you like enough information, not overboard in descriptions and not explaining stuff fully, but giving you enough information to be satisfied, but to also fill in the blanks for yourself. And also his endings, I won't say what happens at the end, guys, so no worries there. But with his endings, they aren't tied up into like a nice little bow in all the little, you know, plot points, all like you know, tied up and like fully explained. I wouldn't really classify his endings as a cliffhanger endings, but he does, as I said, he does leave his endings up to the imagination of the reader. Like, okay, this is how it ends, and it's up to you guys to figure out what happens in your own imagination. And also another cool thing about this collection is that it does have a couple of short stories that are at the back of this book, which are really cool. They didn't have to be in here, they could have been in one of his short story collections, but it's like a nice, like, you know, a nice little extra stuff. I suppose what I liked about this book is, I mean, can I say everything? The artwork, the weird ass storyline, the graphic imagery. It does have a couple of panels at the start where Tadashi's girlfriend is taking a shower, and it's not in extreme detail, but there are some topless panels in it. So, you know, I don't know. As I said, it doesn't go into extreme detail, but you know, if that may upset you, then you know, I know, be warned about that. But if you're triggered by a bit of nudity, then I don't know why you're reading Junji Ito if you're upset about that. But yeah, it's not really extreme gore, but he does write and draw stuff that's a bit unusual. I'll say that. It's not really like splatterpunk or extreme horror. It's more of, you know, unusual horror. I also like the characters as well. The characters were really good, even though there aren't really many main characters. What I disliked, and this is going to sound so stupid, the only thing I disliked about this book, if I can find an example, guys, yeah, here we go, is at the start of every chapter there is this kind of like circle here that's got this text that's kind of like a fisheye effect. I know why he did this because of the fish, you know, the fisheye effect or whatever it's called. But I mean, it does seem a bit strange, and I didn't really like the effect. I mean, it could have been centered rather than, you know, like this, but you know, I don't know. I mean, he could have figured something else that's a bit more creative than this. But when you think about it, that's my only complaint of this book, genuinely, then that's kind of like a testament about how good this author is. So once again, if you are new to horror mangas, because Junji Ito is the master and god of horror mangas, and you aren't really sure about where to start with this author, then I would definitely pick up this one. I mean, as I said, it's not too big. You're going to fly through it, and yeah, I mean, this is really accessible. It's nothing really complex to understand. And yeah, I mean, there are some weird scenes in it where there's a circus, which I'm like, okay, you know, WTF, what the hell is this? I mean, the circus scene didn't really need to be in there, in my personal opinion, but yeah, hey, it was interesting. I'll say that. So yeah, I'm obviously going to give this a 5 stars out of 5. I cannot wait to read more of this author in this new year or during this year, and because I've got a couple more books by him that I still need to read. I'll probably read Tommy next. So yeah. Let me know if you have read this book. Let me know, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you think it was simply okay? If you haven't read it, let me know if I've maybe inspired you to, or encouraged you to pick it up and give this book a try. Yes, it's not a traditional novel, but you shouldn't really dismiss it because it's well, a comic book basically. But I mean, when you think about all these pictures in here and the imagination that this genius has, you are really missing out. So guys, that has been my review for Gyo by Junji Ito. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully I've expressed myself properly. And with all that out the way, I'll see you on my next one.